Right, I want to just talk about the travel behavior of Africans and our as it relates to our ability to tell our own stories. I'm very proud to say that I follow guys like Wode Maya. What's the other gentleman's name? Okay, yeah, the one you see on your screen now is Tayo Aina, who I have known quite a while. The only thing is that I just wondered why. I've always thought about the fact that there seems to be a slant. Maybe I'm wrong, because I think Gambia is in West Africa, but I felt that East Africa seems to be a preferential East and South Africa, kind of Southern Africa. But whatever the case is, these guys are doing a great job of helping us tell our own stories. Here's the problem, or no, here's what I think we may need to just add to the mix. Wode Maya, I think, is doing more of that than Tayo, but they are both doing a wonderful job as far as I'm concerned. We needed this, and they've been really kind of stepping up to do it for us. But we need more of us as black people, especially black Africans, to begin to tell our own stories. We should make it like a way of life, the way you see the average white-skinned person from the West literally carrying a camera around all the time when they travel anywhere, and before you know it, they get back home, they start blogging about it, and some of them begin to make money talking about us and our way of life. So but what I think needs to be added to the mix is our ability to kind of zero in and focus on the core area of our existence as Africans by way of our culture, our traditions, the lifestyle. I mean, locally now, the people. What I have noticed that seems to, and I cannot blame people like Tayo Aina or Wode Maya, but I do believe that Wode Maya is able to strike a bit of a better balance generally amongst the YouTubers who are African. The desire or the preference for showcasing Western styled resources that they discover in the African destination they travel to, and it seems to be what they and people who follow them use to gauge how much they should spend, how much time they should spend, how much they should desire to be in a particular travel destination in Africa. So they say talk about the best hotels, the most attractive venues and all of that. They tend to be Western style things. The Ghanaians, in some of the videos I've seen by Wode Maya, for instance, have themes that are Africa based. And I think the East Africans too. But it's what I'm saying, a lot of what is valued and promoted tends to be things that have Western influence and impact. For instance, the hotels. I am able to see the promotion of a hotel resource or a holiday resort that is Africa themed to the point that it's not necessarily expensive in the Western sense. So because the ability to the resources required to maintain it don't require the hosts, the owners of the resource, to use so much money, and yet it can give you a wonderful, unforgettable experience. I mean, so if you look at some of the areas we have in places like Benin, Ghana and all that, even in Nigeria, they are not expensive places to run and maintain, but they are beautiful places that give you an unforgettable experience in terms of what you get to see and do in the traditional sense of it as Africans. You go to communities where they have places that maybe they are considered sacred, like the Lac Noir, the Black Lake in Benin, and it's a place that people are not permitted to just go anyhow and do any nonsense, and you can go through the place and experiences and all of that. We need Africans to show us things like that. I saw a white guy speaking French, I believe he's a Frenchman, and he was being featured on Jesus Beninois page, where he was taking us through the Lac Noir. And I was thinking to myself, why am I finding out about Lac Noir? Why am I finding out about it from a white man? The same thing, Gangi. I found out about it from a white lady. I was watching her videos. I was reading her article, then I saw a video, and it was all, I think, BBC. Yeah, come on. Why did I have to find out about that from? What could have stopped a Beninese? In fact, what could have stopped the Jesus Beninois team from getting a group of young, smart Beninese men, very intelligent? They have a wonderful culture, good people there. They have the ability to do this stuff. Why couldn't they just get up a team and go all over the country and do special videos, promotional videos for all those travel and tourism destinations, and then take a step lower and begin to showcase the culture and lifestyle of people, narrowing down to things like voodoo, dissecting it, talking to people about it, doing subtitles in English where they speak in French, because I know that many of them do struggle with English. Like well, I speak French, so, but like most Nigerians struggle with French. You know, why don't we do that? We need to do that. It doesn't matter even why don't we do that. We need to do that. The reason why we need to do that is we have to become the people telling our stories. Wode Maya says it. Wode Maya practices what is preaching. I believe that I know is also doing a great job, but he can add another level to some of the stuff and go a bit deeper. You know, every time you see, because these guys are businessmen, you cannot blame them for that. They have to insert the offers and invitations. Most of it is going to make them have to showcase this Western styled hotels and real estate and all of that. But I think more of their content, and like I said, some of them are doing this already, can be used to showcase more deeply the life of the people and the culture and the traditions and the language of the people on a more detailed level. People who are white that want to come to Africa should want to search for videos by Africans, by us, that would have helped them to know exactly what they're going to experience on the streets, not in the popular, bustling, Western styled, high profile, cosmopolitan destinations. No. We're talking about going to other parts of the world, because when you come to a country like Benin, if you have not gone into the area, the deeper regions, you really haven't visited that country. You can't stay in Cotonou and experience the whole of Benin. And you know what I'm saying. And all those other destinations that are very high profile, they don't help you to get a full feel of being in that country. I know, because I've lived there for years, so I know what I'm saying. I move among the people. There are things I know that were not touched on in any of the videos I saw by Tayo. There are things I know that will be of great interest to people if they were to know they existed. Even just the way the local women make all kinds of meals from one source, from farine, the maize, tapioca. You know, they make tapioca, the one that you take. I think we also have it in Nigeria here. But my point I'm making is they are very creative with food. Maize alone, that's maize. The number of foods stuff, the kind of foods they make from maize alone is crazy. And I'm telling you, you will enjoy yourself taking each one of them. You think you're taking a totally different material when you're eating. Then the way they live their lives, the way they maintain their environment, the way they relate to one another. There are things you need to go among them to understand what I'm saying. And that is something that can be subject of multiple videos. We're not doing that. We need to do that. That is the real way to sell. You see, because that's what attracts the foreigners. When we begin to show the foreigners more things that are very familiar to them. Look, all our hotels and all these things, the destinations that we promote a lot, the most in Africa, tend to be things that we know. It seems that Africans even believe that when they can show that they have something that's along the levels of what they have in Europe and America, then it makes it to be like, okay, we're stepping up, we have destinations that are worthy of visit. But do you notice that the foreigners, when they come, they actually go for the one that we are ignoring? You know, all those aspects of our life, when they go to the villages, that's why we're always shocked. What are they interested about in the tradition of Ifa or Shun, all those things, the goddess, all the traditional practices. You see, the white man is excited about the local art. He's excited about that. The way the people are making adire, he's excited about. He wants to see it, and he's not looking at it as something he doesn't have time for. He's looking at it as something that, wow, he wants to go and talk about it in his own country. That he's seen something he's not seen before. So when he comes and sees a house, a hotel, a restaurant that is themed in the Western, along the style or lines of the Western restaurant and hotel and all of that, it's not a big deal. Yeah, okay, wow, it's nice to have that, but they will always be seeing it most times as a second-hand imitation of what they have. But when you see something that's original to you, good example, look at our artwork that we're trying to get back from them. Think about it. The people that were, this were the people in ancient times, ancient Benin Empire, ancient Dahomey Kingdom. They stole all those artworks. Why would the white man with all this great technology and beautiful resources choose to steal something from our supposedly illiterate ancestors? Then price it in millions of pounds and dollars. Don't you see? They know that thing is, because it's original. Those original things we have that cannot be found anywhere else in the world is the one we should be showcasing the most in our videos. And telling people about the local artists, the local artisans. What are the things they created? What is the history of the place? What were the ancestors doing when they were there? We need to talk about most of those things. So I'm on a journey where I'm going to be doing the exact opposite to what the popular train is kind of showcasing. And that's good, because we complement one another. That will attract people. The initial one, the one that is very attractive to the Nigerian elite, the ones that have the money, they are very interested in all those things that make it look cool, Western style thing, no problem. And of course, a little bit of the traditional, but they are very scared of it and reluctant to engage with it most times. So I will be showcasing that. Over time, we will understand that we should be, like the lady said, voodoo is something that's actually positive, but it's been given a bad name by the West. They deliberately did it. And the thing is, we need to fight that and begin to embrace our way of life as Africans. So those are some of the things I'm going to be doing, because I realize that that's what is missing in the mix, right? But these guys are doing a wonderful job. They've shown us that Africans can tell their own stories, and they're doing it even better than the white guys, to be honest with you. And the thing is, we just need to make it have more depth now, and that's, I guess, the message I have for this this reaction video. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Oh, by the way, like I said, I live in Benin, I work in Benin, but I do shuttle a lot because my family is in Nigeria. If you have any question, reach out to me using the numbers on your screen. Cheers. Alright, so in case I haven't been able to maybe communicate clearly enough, I'm going to play a clip. I just took an excerpt from Aina's video, and you'll hear him talking about one of the cons, the problems, the things he didn't like about Benin Republic. And he mentioned the fact that some of the nicest places, I'm putting quotes around the word nice now. What do you mean by nice? That's the purpose of what I'm saying now. Some of the nicest places were charging in euros, and therefore making it impossible for Africans who don't naturally earn money in euros while in Africa to visit the place.
What are the cons? What are the things I didn't really like? So one of the things I didn't like I said earlier, was that everything was being charged in euros. I don't know the idea behind this, but it sort of made it very expensive for Africans. We don't make euros in Africa, so why are we charging our products in euros and making it difficult for the Africans who are here to experience countries around Africa? And that's one of the things I noticed when I travel to many of these destinations in Africa, and I think I'm probably going to make a video about it. A lot of the nicest places in Africa, it's like they're not built for Africans to experience. It's like they're built for foreigners to experience. When you see a really nice place, you don't really see Africans there. You just see foreigners. And one of the reasons for this is because most of these places are really expensive, and them charging in euros makes it harder. How many people can afford to go somewhere and spend 300 euros? If you're making money in Africa, especially as a Nigerian, you guys know where our currency is. This is one thing I didn't like. But apart from that, I believe Benin Republic is a really chill place. The people there are really welcoming. Every other thing was really nice. I love the vibe. I love the culture. I love the people. There was no fear of carrying a camera on the streets. I took my camera everywhere. Nobody came to hassle me or disturb me, which was really cool. I recommend you traveling to Benin Republic if you would like to learn about our neighboring countries. Many of the people there, they speak Yoruba. And I spoke Yoruba to a couple people too when I was there, and they understood Yoruba, which was really amazing.
So I question, not in a negative way, but I just question. I'm just trying to challenge the thoughts of everybody, including Tayo himself and people who think like him. Why would you think that those should be why are those things the nicest places? Why are those places the nicest places in our definition? Because we've allowed the Western world to train us or to condition us to see what they have as what is nice, and what is original and unique to us as what is not so nice, and therefore not worth going to visit and paying good money to see. That's why, despite the fact that they're charging euros, our people are still going there to visit all those nice places. Many of those places where the euros are being charged are built along the lines of Western society's preferences. The technology, the architecture, the stuff that they do in there, the activities are all Western themed, not Africa themed. So why is it that the ones that have to do, that the village, the salt village and all the other places where you have turtles and people go and do the voodoo and the traditional food stuff and all of those things, why are those ones not charging dollars? Why are they not charging euros? Because that's our own. The ones that we're putting big money on are the ones that also we choose to present to the foreigners. So naturally, we know that the foreigners will be more willing to dish out the money for it. And as a result, there's a collateral damage by way of exclusion of our people, because our people do not earn the same kind of currency, cannot afford to pay the same rates for the most part. So I think we need to get our priorities right. We need to reorientate ourselves and stop defining nice things based on the standards of the West, and beginning to define nice things based on our own standard. And that means we have to change our standards, because many of us have been conditioned by Western education to think what is Western is nicer and better than what is African. We've got to change that. Let me use India as a good example for you. Many years ago, my uncle, he's late now, my late uncle, my maternal uncle, he traveled. He was working with one of the big banks, and he was sent as a senior manager as one of those that will help roll out a particular software that was being adopted from India. I think it was Finacle, I can't remember. Anyway, he came back and told us stories about how most people were going around on bikes, on bicycles, and Marwa, these tricycles, that it was very rare to see people driving expensive cars and things like that. And they tried to buy and use cars that were manufactured in India, or vehicles or bikes that were manufactured in India. And they were proudly, that you see many people who go in the tricycles and all that. Nobody was trying to do a big man thing. That it was only in Nigeria you see Indians driving expensive cars and all that, having drivers and all of that. What the point I'm trying to make is this: it means the Indians understood or understand the importance of valuing what they have. I remember that I went to certain companies when I was marketing my software, my Excel Visual Basic software, in the early years before I eventually had my breakthroughs with selling to Nigerians. And I remember the rejection I got from many companies was from Nigerians. The Nigerian decision makers were telling me no. Some of them would tell me, look at what you have in computer village. I don't need your software because see what's in computer village. And I'll tell them, well, that's not unique to us, and it's not designed for us, so you have to improvise. This one I can customize. The man will say, no, I'm not interested. Then I would meet sometimes Indians who are in charge of maybe the accounts department or the human resources department, and they will be telling me they wanted, like for instance, they tell me, get me Tally. I will only use Tally. Tally is a software manufactured in India. They will, in their companies, they will recommend Indian software. So it didn't matter if they were employed by a Nigerian company, they would insist on Indian software. So that is what we need to do. We need to begin to value and promote our own ahead of others. That's the way the rest of the world behaves. But Africans, we've got it wrong. We need to get it right. So as we travel, let's start traveling more in Africa. And when we travel, let's begin to value that which is ours more. It's not the price that should determine how nice something is, and it's not how Western it looks or how similar to Western stuff it looks that will determine how nice it is. It is the uniqueness of it and the fact that it adds value to us as a people and defines us as a people and makes us stand out from the crowd of peoples all across the planet. That is what should make us love it and consider it to be nice. And then we should, like the Beninese, they proudly project their culture, promote their culture and their language and everything. They are very proud of them of who they are. I think they are probably the proudest Africans I've met. Honestly, very original, and they're not. To be honest with you, the Beninese are not interested in impressing you with how well they are familiar with Western culture. No, they're not. They are very comfortable in their own skin, and we, the rest of us, need to embrace that. So I hope this is useful, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not criticizing Tayo. I love what the guys are doing. Wode Maya is even more like, he's one, I think he embraces this more, what I'm talking about. He is a very, you see him showing you how to use showing stick and all that. That is what I'm talking about. Let's take people down to those areas. We can show the stuff that we know, that show the white guys that look, we know your game, we can play your game, but let's emphasize more of our own stuff. That's the way, that's what will make them respect us more. And then our own youths will begin to value our own way of life and culture better.